Imagine waking up in a peaceful town, the kind of place where everyone knows your name, only to have that peace shattered by the sound of gunfire and the smell of smoke. That is exactly what the people of Agwara, the headquarters of Agwara Local Government in Niger State, went through recently. It sounds like something out of an action movie, but for the residents there, it was a terrifying reality. Bandits moved into the town with a level of boldness that is honestly hard to wrap your head around. Their first stop wasn't a hidden shop or a quiet house. They went straight for the heart of law enforcement, the Divisional Police Station. Before we dive deeper into how they managed to pull this off, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you these important stories and ensures you stay informed about what's happening in our backyard. Once the bandits reached the police station, they didn't just stand outside, they set the entire building on fire. Think about the message that sends. By burning down the police headquarters, they were trying to tell the community that there was no one left to protect them. With the station in flames and the security forces forced to retreat or regroup, the town was left wide open. But the attackers weren't done. They moved from the symbols of the law to the symbols of faith. They stormed a local church during a time when people should feel safest. Imagine the confusion and the fear as these armed men entered a place of worship. They didn't just come to destroy property, they came for people. By the time the raid was over, at least 5 innocent members of the community were taken away into the bush. It's a heartbreaking situation because these are regular people, fathers, mothers, or neighbors who were just going about their daily lives. This attack in Agwara isn't just a random event either. It's part of a scary pattern we've been seeing across Niger State, especially in areas like Borgu and nearby Kebbi State. If you're finding this story as intense as I am, please make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on. We need to stick together to discuss these issues and make sure the right people are listening. The big question everyone is asking is, how do these bandits move so freely? Agwara is a major administrative hub, not a tiny village in the middle of nowhere. To attack the main police station of a local government headquarters shows that these groups are becoming more daring. They are using soft targets like churches and schools because they know it causes the most pain and gets the most attention for their ransom demands. It makes you wonder what the next step for our security agencies should be. Should there be more checkpoints, or do we need drones watching these forests 24/7? The people of Niger State are resilient, but no one should have to live with the constant fear of being kidnapped or seeing their public buildings burned to the ground. There's a lot of talk about how the government is planning to respond, and the community is waiting with bated breath to see if their loved ones will be returned safely. It's a heavy topic, but it's one we have to talk about if we want to see things change. The conversation in the comments is already heating up, and I want to know what you think about the safety measures in our rural towns. I have so much more to tell you about the local response and what the authorities are saying about tracking these groups down through the rugged terrain of the North Central region. What makes this story even more intense is that Agwara hasn't been dealing with this alone. This attack on the police station and the church is part of a much larger coordinated wave of violence that has hit the region recently. Just weeks ago, a massive tragedy struck the Kasuwan Daji market in Agwara. Reports confirmed that over 40 people lost their lives in a single morning when bandits stormed the market, set stores on fire, and looted food supplies. It's hard to imagine the level of chaos. A place where people go to buy food for their families, turning into a scene of such heartbreak. If you're just joining us, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We are breaking down the full story of what's happening in Agwara so you can stay ahead of the news. Now, here is the part that really hits home. This group of attackers didn't just appear out of nowhere. Local leaders, including religious figures from the Kontagora diocese, have been raising the alarm, saying these bandits have been roaming freely between northern Borgu and southern Kebbi State for days without being stopped. In one instance, they actually took over a small settlement, stayed there for hours, and even slaughtered the locals' livestock for food before moving on to their next target. It shows a level of "we don't care" that is honestly chilling. The federal government has definitely taken notice now. President Bola Tinubu has officially ordered the military and the police to go full throttle into those forests to rescue every single person taken, including those kidnapped from the church and the hundreds of school children taken from St. Mary's in Papiri just months ago. The good news is that some victims have been rescued recently, but many families are still waiting by their phones, praying for a miracle. But let's be real for a second. How do we stop this from happening again? People are starting to ask if our security forces need better technology, like high-tech drones, or if the local hunters and vigilante groups should be given more support since they know the bushes better than anyone else. It's a tough conversation, but it's one we need to have. There's a lot more to discuss regarding the military's operation currently happening in those forests and how the community is trying to rebuild.